Assalamu alaikum, all participants. My name is Farhan Hasib. I'm from HR division. I'll be the moderator for today's session. Our topic today is architectural journey, sharing a lifelong experience. Today's honored guest and speaker is Mr. Shahid Rehman. He's a chief architect at Drug Park. I'll start by a brief introduction. He's qualified as an architect from NCA. He has practical experience of around 46 years, and out of which he has spent 28 years in NESPA. During his professional long career, he designed over more than 150 building projects, won a number of national competitions, and also has the privilege of working on a number of mega projects at national and international level. Mr. Shahid Rahman is also an artist and a cartoonist as well. He has also worked for PTV programs, including publications of his work in professional magazines as well. So this was just a brief introduction. Before we start, I would like to inform the participants that a recorded version of this webinar will be available to you. And we will try for this to be an interactive session. And in case of any queries or questions, the participants can use the Zoom chat or raise hand option in the Zoom. So over to Shahid Saab. We'll just start.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I'd like to thank the Managing Director NASPAC for providing me this wonderful opportunity to talk to you from this platform. To tell you honestly, it was rather hard for me to decide on the subject of this topic. And so I've decided that I'm going to take you on a journey of an architect, an artist, a cartoonist, and an inventor. And I would like to direct this lecture to the young professionals of NESPA, especially architects. Okay, so I will start with a brief introduction to my professional experience. And then I'm going to take you for a walk in the wild to looking for motivations and inspirations. And after that, we'll come to a crossroad and we will evaluate architects' personality traits that can influence the design that they're producing. So in the end, I will try to give it some recommendations. So let's start with my work experience. I qualified from National College of Arts in 1974. My session was from 1969 to 1974. Soon after qualification, I actually joined PPAC, Pakistan Environmental Planning and Architectural Consultants Limited. PPAC in those days was one of the best platforms for architects and planners. And over there, I had the privilege of working along with very, very famous and reputable architects like Raja Shaukat Nawaz. You may have heard about him. And there was Masood Saab, who later joined MIT. And then there was an Anwar Pasha. He was a brilliant architect and a very good artist as well. So over there, I also had the privilege of working on some very prestigious projects like LWFP House and Kashmir House that are built in Islamabad. And then I worked on a multi-story building project at that time, HBFC House. Now I think it's called something else now. And I also won a competition project and even designed a chandelier for a particular project over there. So uh, right after that, I got a wonderful opportunity to work in Iraq, and I resigned NESPA, PPAC, sorry, in 1979, and joined the Ministry of Defense, uh, government of Iraq. So I designed a prototype military hospital over there, and along with its housing facilities. And I also experienced firsthand the war between Iraq and Iran. And I had a very, very interesting experience of working uh, uh, with the Iraqi people. So after completing the assignment, I came back and rejoined PPAC. And then in 1982, I joined NESPA as a senior architect. And after attaining the age of attenuation, I retired from NESPA in 2010. But I continued working up to 2013 with NESPA because I was already working on a project that was going on at that time. So after completing that project, I joined Turk Park, and now I'm serving in Turk Park as a chief architect at the moment. Now, let's go to the next slide. Actually, these are some samples of my project, but to tell you honestly, uh, 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 first of all, I'd like to thank NESPA. I'm really indebted to NESPA for providing me the facility to work on a large number of projects. The list is pretty big, I mean, and they include projects of international and national level. And tell you very honestly, very few architects have this privilege of designing so many buildings. You see. So briefly, my list includes, you see, hospitals. I've designed a number of hospitals and even basic institutes. Then we come to educational. I've designed primary schools, secondary schools, colleges, and even universities. And then if you take housing, actually, I was involved with the design of, like I told you before, in the NWFP house and Kashmir house. These are complex buildings that are housing, providing accommodation to senior government officials. And also, I designed housing accommodation for PAF at Chaklala. Wow. Then we come to sports. I've designed gymnasiums and sport complexes. And then after that, we come to multi-story buildings. I have participated in the design of a multi-story building. For example, this AWP Plaza is a third-story building. It is located on the Mall Road, Lahore, and over on the top view, you see a design proposal of a competition project that I did. These are also commercial buildings. And then I was in charge of two 16-story high buildings, state-like buildings located in Islamabad. I was their resident architect at that time. Then after public, we come to religious buildings. And then I've designed many mosques, a lot of mosques. And then I've also worked in conservation projects, preservation and conservation projects. And before I forget it, I've worked in interior design projects as well. I have personally, on my personal trade, I've designed a lot of furniture. Also, I'm interested in that. Now, the big takeaway from all this experience, the big takeaway from all this experience is number one, that after you go through all these projects, and once when you look at a project that is perhaps going to be, is under in designing stage or whatever, you instinctively get into the you know what are the vital aspects of the project, which are the critical points of the project. You immediately get to know over there. And then after just if you have to design the project again, and somebody develops the project, you can immediately feel whether the project, whether the design that is being developed, is it a mediocre design, or is it a creative design and it has some tensions of development. And then you can also guide a person into a number of different design solutions and different options. So this is what I took from here. Now the slide that I'm showing you here is of a hospital competition project that we did in Nehas Park, and I was the project architect over here, and there was the three teams that were constituted under me. And in one of the teams designed this, I was in charge, and in collaboration, we designed this hospital along with two other hospitals. It was a design competition. There was this Al Maktoum Hospital, the one that you're seeing on the right side, and on the left side, this is a project that is being built in Quetta, and it is a cardiac hospital. Okay, then I'm going to go to another slide. This is again a typical view of the Quetta hospital. Below this is it's a very interesting building. It's a vocational training center that I built in Mangla joint venture. Actually, when I was told to design a vocational training institute in Mangla, there was no flashlight over there. I walked the whole day exploring the site because I had proposed a vocational training to flat sort of a plan for a vocational training institute, and I was supposed to quickly check the flight, but there was no flashlight, so I redesigned the thing into these stepped terraces, and this building has been completed. And on the right side, you will see some buildings in the mountains. This is the Mangla raising project. In this project alone, I designed over 130 buildings. Of course, some of them were repeated and all, but the total number was around 130. You can see the white spotted buildings over there. These are the that we designed in UCT, and 4 small towns in relation to the development of the Mangla Dam raising project. So if you have a closer look at the map on your left side, you will see a lot of these black dots. These are actually the buildings that I've signed. These are the public amenity buildings, and they include police stations and post offices and schools and colleges and whatnot. Now, after that, now this is also the Mangla Dam raising project, in which I was. These are the on the left. and at the bottom, you see some housing. Actually, these are the houses for the imams and the muezzins of the mosque. And I was asked to design some quarters, 2 room quarters or 2.5 room quarters for these. And I said, no, why don't I make a residential unit for them, a proper house for them? And this is the result. Now, I'm going to take you for a walk into the wild. This is where we are going to seek inspirations and motivations. And this is where we seek opportunities for learning new skills and all. I mean, this is the way what I feel. Now I'll come to another slide. Interesting slide, don't you think? Full of hats. Well, the thing is that architect is a jack of all trades. This is a proverb, a very famous proverb. And it is a very appropriate proverb. This implies that architect is, whenever an architect is given to design a building, he is trying to find information regarding its requirements. And he does not only have to find the requirements of the building he is supposed to design, but also he should know something about the trade that particular building belongs to. For example, if he's designing a hospital, then that trade is the hospital, and he has that it's a medical trade. So he will be be wearing a medical hat or a doctor's hat. See? So these are the architects are constantly exploring different fields and taking on different roles. So at times he would be wearing, let's say, the hat of a player if he's designing a gymnasium and things like that. You see, so these are the different role an architect has to play. Now I'm going to come to interesting aspect. That what are the fields that are relevant to architecture, and what are the fields that go out of course in the architecture? To tell you honestly, बहुत सी fields ऐसी हैं that they may not be directly related to architecture, लेकिन intrinsically from inside virtually every field is related to each other. There is nothing which is out of course for architects. Achha, I'm going to talk about the relationships of 3 projects over there. For example, painting, cartooning, and product design. And I'm going to try to relate these to architecture. But that does not mean, by all means, that does not mean that an architect must paint, or an architect should be able to draw cartoons, or an architect should be able to do project designs. This is not necessary, but this is just an example that I did. Now you see, I was very curious. Now let's start with painting first. I was very curious to find out, okay, what is the difference between the mode of perception of an architect and an artist? How do they see the world? We know as architects that we evaluate the, we evaluate the, when we see the thing, so we perceive in terms of three dimensions, right? How does an artist perceive that? He only perceives it in two dimensions because he's working on a flat surface. So what he does is that he presents a three-dimensional image on a two-dimensional surface. It gives an illusion of a three-dimensional space. Excuse me, just a minute. Can you bring that photo back, please? This way. Yeah. Oh, it is that one. No. Photograph, please. My own, so that I can see myself. Just a minute, please. There's a little. Plus, including that. Okay. ये जो I'm talking about this perception. Actually, perception. What I believe is that हम लोग सब in this world, we are all seeing the same things. We are seeing all the environment around us, and we are seeing the same things. But we are perceiving whatever we see in a totally different way. See, for example, when I look at a tree, I may be perceiving it totally different from what you would be perceiving. So in that context, I wanted to know how an artist perceives the world. So इसका फायदा है, you see, अगर somebody paints, then he is dabbling with colors, he's dirtying his hands with colors, but he's gaining very valuable experience, because when he's going to dabble with paints and mix a couple of paints, and maybe it turns out into a muddy mix, not desirable mix. And sometimes when you place some colors close to each other, they complement each other very well. So इस तरह you don't not only learn the various theories of colors and the color composition, is a bada fayda hai. So the next time when an architect is supposed to suggest colors for interiors and all, so he does it like a professional instead of hitting it in the dark. When I started painting, I got a little carried away. So these are some of the paintings that I have actually done, and this is the caricature of Imran Khan on the left, and with this vision of a new Pakistan over there, crystal ball, showing in crystal ball, and the other side is of Modi, you see, or is painting the title. This is the first one is the vision. The second title is Kashmiri shawl. Modi is wearing that Kashmiri shawl, and it is strangling him. It's a little wet sort of a thing. Or this is another painting, or just maybe a Brexit, when the Europe, when the British were exiting the European Union. So this is a cartoon, or normally the European, the British used to be treated like VIPs at the airports and things like that. Or as a painting, there's this Pakistani context में Brexit. You see, there's this Pakistani, and these are this people are actually checking the lab baggage, or welcome to the club, ma'am. Left side पे there's this painting in which मुझे क्यों निकाला, Nawaz Sharif, and on the right side there's the painting of Equally Honest. अच्छा, ये जो है ये जो these paintings, I've already completed a number of paintings, and I am in the process of entering into a exhibition of my work. So now I will quickly move into the cartooning aspect. Actually, cartooning is, I have found it to be a very uh, it's a, uh, very powerful medium of expression, because it is not only, it can does not only extend profession but feelings as well. We all know about the emojis, you see, because instead of saying, "Oh, I'm very happy," you just write an emoji of a happy face, and there can be emojis of anger, and these are all simplifications of certain things. So basically, ये जो कार्टूनिंग है, इसका कॉन्सेप्ट जो है वो ये होता है, इट्स एज फॉलोज. You have to have a thought. Like in a painting, you have to have a thought. In architecture, you have to have a thought. And after that, which we regard as concept, which we call concept. And after that, once you develop a drawing, then you start the simplification process of that drawing. And finally, you exaggerate a bit of those. So, and maybe you add a pinch of wit in it also, satire, I mean, and humor. तो लेकिन मैं आपको बताऊं कि it may be seem rather remotely connected to architecture, लेकिन मैंने ये जो I've done some these illustrations for these this very presentation मैंने cartooning में किया है. You may have noticed. Anyways, लेकिन इसमें फायदा आमतौर पर ये होता है कि when we are confronted with problems such as कि कोई architectural motif है, if there's a joroka or a motif or an arch which we want to change, so what we can simply do is we can simplify the element and perhaps exaggerate some parts of it, and then come up with a totally new distinction. अब these are the things that I've been practicing. तो मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि कुछ कार्टूनिंग मैंने ये जो की है, ये इसमें ये black and white cartoons हैं. About this is that is Imran Khan with promises. Or then there's this Trump with different, I mean, जो वो suggest करता था कि how to get rid of this COVID. तो उसकी जो contraptions थी और वो जो suggestions थी, like उसका जरा थोड़ा satire है. And then there's this Zardari, Catch Me If You Can. और ये है publication जो कि एक मेरा और cartoon है. And then there's this IMF bill. And these are all these cartoons. अच्छा, now we come to the product side. Normally, architects इस तरह नहीं करते, लेकिन मैं ये सजेस्ट करता हूँ कि आप लोग, you should definitely pursue and look for some fields of interest. क्रिएट करें अपने अंदर न्यू एक्सपर्टीज. खैर ये प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन ये है कि actually I used to think that whenever you want to match your footwear with your clothing, मिसाल के तौर पे अगर आपका ब्राउन सूट है तो ब्राउन शूज है, फिर then there's a other shoe. So why should you have to buy a new pair each time? Why can't the same design or upper be fixed on the same sole? You understand what I'm saying? औरतों के लिए तो this would be a बहुत ही अच्छा होगा, because वो हर बार they wear a new dress and they match their shoes. So every time they have to buy new shoes. तो ये is तो फिर then I started thinking over it and started designing, and finally I've got एक मैंने design किया, and I've got a patent for it, which you see on your website. ये this is another thing that I tried. I actually about more than 10 years back, वो पाकिस्तान में एक एडवर्टाइज हुआ था कि पाकिस्तानी एयर होस्टेस का डिजाइन ड्रेस डिजाइन. तो I also participated in that. I gave an example. उसके बाद my son wanted a motorbike. I didn't want to give him a motorbike for fear that he may get injured. So I said, why don't I construct a sort of a go-kart for him? So ये उसके कुछ examples, tries हैं. I tried. Now we come to the beaten route. Beaten route, by beaten route is that normally every architect travels on the same path. बात ये है कि whenever an architect is given a project, he has to familiarize himself with each and every parameter of the project. ठीक है ना? तो वो जो project है in hand, so he has to find all possible information regarding the project. For example, उसके site के बारे में, I'm not going to go into details because you know everything over here. उसके बाद client, उसके बाद terms of references, budget हो गया, bylaws हो गए, ये सारा तो every architect has to do it. But the question is, after you collect all this information, then the time comes when you have to analyze this information, and you develop design solutions for different type of information that you have collected. ये छोटी-छोटी design solutions जो है, ये आप करते हैं, और finally इससे a blueprint, a footprint develops of the building. ये जो, for example, different aspects के लिए, like functional zoning, space organization, circulation design, इन सब के लिए आप design solutions ढूंढते हैं. आप ये design solutions ढूंढते हैं, and then the final design is made. उसके बाद वो 3D envelope. But the question is कि जब ये सारा कुछ आप डिजाइन कर रहे होते हैं और एनालिसिस की स्टेज पे होते हैं, इसमें बड़ी important चीज come into play, which we normally do not consider. इसमें ये है कि एक आपका thinking, किस किस्म की आपकी thinking, उसके बाद are you a creative person or you're not a creative person, और उसके बाद आपका attitude कैसा है, और फाइनल है योर आप inquisitive है कि नहीं. ये जो चीज है ना, ये these unconsciously play into the design, or these are the personal traits of architects, or they are responsible whether the end product that you design, is it going to be a mediocre, a typical design, or is it going to be something out of this world, that project with a wow, that sort of thing. ये difference, ये चीजें, ये personality traits जो हैं, ये फर्क करती हैं. अब thinking, आपके thinking, because we all develop a pattern of thinking over a period of time, building design कर करके. अब let me tell you about the thinking process जो ये involve होता है. अब ये thinking में there are two types of thinking. I regard it. as two types of thinking. One type of thinking is thinking within the box, and the second is thinking outside the box. Agar if you fall into the category of thinking inside the box, then thinking inside the box means that without question, you are accepting the current conventional design solutions or methods. जो known or acceptable design solution and method hai, you agree to abide by it without questioning. Obviously, then you will be willing to work within those parameters, or aapki building will be obviously the typical current conventional design. Achha. Now, what does thinking out of the box imply? Thinking out of the box implies to creative thinking. Creative thinking hoti hai, or it means that you do not accept the conventional design solutions, but you question each and every design solution that is currently in vogue. You question that, you question the design solutions, you question the methods, and then you create new ideas and new solutions. This is thinking out of the box. Let me give you a few very simple examples of thinking out of the box and thinking within the box. ताकि बात समझ में आ जाए. देखिए जी, when we design a mosque बनाते हैं, तो mosque there's a praying chamber at one end, and there's some corridors with colonnades, and there's an ablution over here, and there's a central courtyard in the center, which is normally paved because of the overflows of namazis offering their prayers over there, right? Now, this is a conventional design, a typical design of a mosque. Now, actually, you don't have to change the entire design. You can be creative in small matters. It's very difficult to have completely new design. Well, that is the higher level game. See, so innovative design. Now, the problem with the existing design is that the courtyard, which is paved, heats up in winter and starts radiating its heat around, and it heats up the buildings around. That's the creative solution put by one architect was that he didn't pave the central courtyard. In fact, he planted a garden there with flowers. Now that was much prettier to look at, and it was environment radiator sort of a thing, and that was a very interesting change from conventional to an extraordinary. Just a little bit of thought was like this. But there, for example, is another type of architect who was given a project of a zoo to design a zoo. So normally, when we see a zoo, is that we see cages of animals. Animals are caged inside, and people are walking around seeing the animals. This is what this zoo is. See, so the another architect said, "No, I'm not going to design it like that. Why shouldn't the people be caged and let the animals go free?" Yeah, like you may have seen it many times. This is the out of the box thinking. Now, अब ये है कि over a period of time we develop this thinking pattern, and now it's a time to rethink about that. See, second I come to creativity. Creativity. What is creativity? And there are some people who are said to be creative, and there are some people who are said to be not very creative, or maybe not creative at all. अब ये सारे का सारा all these things influence the end product, the design. Creative people actually कौन होते हैं? Can be defined creative people. Creative people, सबसे पहले, they can come up with a number of design solutions for the same problem. There are some people who will come up with a solution and they will stick to that solution and say that's it. These creative people can come up with many solutions, and therefore the possible of giving a more creative solution becomes more obvious. जितने ज्यादा creative solution में से आपको selection करनी है, you become more creative. Secondly, the another thing is that they are constantly thinking in unique ways. They want to change different things, even small chocolate change if they want to change. If they can change, they like to change. You see, so they have a different mindset from the rest. They're not afraid to try something even totally bizarre, totally out of this world, and they're not afraid to do so. And they do not accept the conventional solutions. किसी चीज में भी जब बिल्डिंग डिजाइन कर रहे हैं, ये हो ये स्ट्रक्चरल डिजाइन व्हाटएवर, कोई भी डिजाइन करते टेक अप ये डिजाइन सॉल्यूशन, और उसके बाद इनके साथ एक और बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बात होती है, whenever they are seeing a building, तो उसके क्रिटिकल एरियाज जो है they come up with a lot of interesting concepts. This way, that way. They're not stuck with one thing. Great people, because to do bring a change from the order is not an easy thing. This Okay, so I'm sorry for this interruption because there was something wrong with the internet over here. तो अब ये एक चौथा फैक्टर है एटीट्यूड का. Yeah, this is another personality trait which plays a very vital role in the design, in the end product of it. See, agar aap, if there's a person who is not in a good mood or who is not feeling up to it, uh, who is not feeling up to it, तो but he what फिर वो अगर डिजाइन करने की कोशिश करेगा तो definitely that design is not going to be of a good quality. And मैं आपको मिसाल के तौर पे as an example आपको, if you look at around at nature, you see nature को देखें और nature के take the design of a leaf का design as an example, and see the number of different designs of leaves के कितने design है, कोई लंबा होता है, गोल होता है, कैसा होता है. It seems as if the nature was very happy while it was designing. So it was having, I think nature was having a ball of a time designing, having fun designing. So attitude, one has to take care of these attitudes. In the end, I would definitely suggest कि ये जो हमारे हम सब के जो पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट्स होते हैं, ये थिंकिंग, ये attitude, or the last one is inquisitiveness. ये positive, most of us have it, but just करने की जरूरत है. We should look inward. Behavior pattern है और ये कैसा है, or does it need to be improved or not. अब inquisitiveness जो है वो, that is the inquisitiveness जो है वो एक और बड़ी important चीज है. For example, inquisitive means the urge to explore. You don't take everything for granted. ठीक है, आज मैंने देखी हुई है, I know about that. No, ऐसा नहीं है. There's or inquisitive mind is a very active mind. वो active mind होता है. It's asking questions, seeking answers everywhere. आपने देखा नहीं है छोटे बच्चे जो हैं वो they're constantly bothering you with questions. ये क्या है, ये क्या है, ये क्या है. They are the most inquisitive human beings, जिसकी वजह से उनकी development is accelerated at that time. तो वो अगर inquisitiveness हम ले आए, if we bring inquisitiveness into our personality, I think it's going to pay dividend for us, our personalities, our ultimately NASPAC is going to benefit from this, but because हम लोग उनके लिए बेहतर डिजाइन कर सकते हैं. ठीक है जी. और कुछ लोग there are some people who are crazy, and they are crazy enough to think that they can change this world. And actually, these are the people who change the world. ये मैं नहीं कह रहा. I'm not saying this. ये Steve Jobs said that. So it's a nice one. In the end, I would like to make some recommendations. देखिए जी, मेरी suggestion about architecture living, about architecture, मेरे अपने profession के बारे में NASPAC के अंदर ये है, mashallah, running full-fledged offices in different parts of Pakistan. So there should be a more frequent, maybe there already is, I'm not sure, but it's my recommendation generally, there should be a a more frequent exchange of expertise. वहाँ से एक डिवीजन से एक्सपर्टीज दूसरे डिवीजन में आए और इनके एक्सचेंज ऑफ इवेंट्स हो, रिसर्चेज हों, यानी और ये सारी की सारी डिवीजन्स एक्सचेंज ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज भी करें. दैट आई थिंक मैं उसके बाद आर्किटेक्ट्स शुड बी encouraged to write these research papers और in-house presentations करें. They should be encouraged to make in-house presentations ताकि उनकी selling skill बढ़े or whatever they are designing. और उसके बाद I believe that it is the time that test park should go and if it is not already doing it, I'm out of touch for some time now. लेकिन मेरी suggestion यह है कि every architect division की जो architecture team है वो एक team, they should select a team, groom the team to be able to tackle international projects or get into international design competitions. Or architects should be encouraged to increase their fields of expertise. पता है आजकल AIT बहुत कुछ आ गया, so they should get in touch with it. Okay, Ji, from here I conclude my this thing, and and thank you very much for listening, taking time to listen. Are there any questions? Sir, as a fresh engineer, I have no grade and division. What should I do with the box, as it is better to fill all the box? Huh? What is he talking about? Excuse me. I've seen your comment box, sir, and I'm going to read it aloud for you. And it's you say, sir, as a fresh engineer, I have no grade and division. What should I do with the box, as it's mandatory to fill all the box? ये है जी मोहम्मद जासीन. Look, if you're talking about the thinking, in-box thinking and out-box thinking out of the box, is this what you are implying? If so, जो आम हम सोच रहे होते हैं, जनरली हम जो चीजें सोच रहे होते हैं, वो I regard it's a symbolic representation. So that is regarded as thinking in the box. और अगर आपकी सोच सर totally मुख्तलिफ है, अलग है, जरा different है, तो उसको thinking out of the box कहते हैं. और thinking out of the box जो है, वो one can practice to think out of the box. Any more questions, sir?
I guess that is it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us. It's been a pleasure to have you with us. And
thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome, sir. It's been a pleasure, and thank you to all the participants. And on this note, we'll be concluding our session. And thank you once again.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you once again for having me.